Hi there, warriors, and welcome to this new live stream of the Uruguayan Heroes YouTube channel. And today we are once again, like we did a few weeks ago, gonna watch Uruguayans and how they are doing in today's Champions League action. So we have Darwin Nunez playing for Liverpool against Glasgow Rangers. He's starting at last. That's really good to hear. As well as Matias Oliveira in the same group will come up with Napoli in Amsterdam against Ajax, which is also a big game. And furthermore, I will go to SofaScore because then we can have a good look at who is playing. So this, like I mentioned, Ajax, Napoli, and Liverpool against Rangers. Then it's Club Brugge and Atletico Madrid with Jose Jimenez starting, second game in a row. Let's hope we can keep it going and not come up or drop out injured. Then this game is currently going on with two Uruguayans playing, and Coates is not one of them because he is still injured. But Manuel Ugarte was playing in the first half. He was subbed off at halftime. And Franco Israel came on after 30 minutes when the Sporting goalkeeper Adan got a red card. So they're losing. Not an ideal match, but yeah, still two Uruguayans on the pitch. And Eintracht Frankfurt against Sporting or against Tottenham, which has Rodrigo Bentancur starting. So yeah, that's where we start. Four Uruguayans in the starting lineups. So yeah, let's see how this night is gonna evolve. The game I'm gonna look for the most and I'm gonna watch the most is certainly Liverpool. Well, I mean Darwin Nunez. I think it's his second or his third start. I think it's his third start. Yeah, I think it's his third start for Liverpool. So yeah, it's I mean Haaland came in and Darwin came in. I never got these comparisons between the two because that Haaland was always on a higher level. But yeah, the way Haaland has gone and the way Darwin has gone, it's been really country miles ahead or apart from each other. But we all know the reasons also for Darwin not hitting the ground running, for his red card, less playing time, but also because Darwin is no Haaland. Haaland is a freak, So let's not compare this. But yeah, it's really good to see Darwin start today, and hopefully he can get going because that's the thing, he needs the minutes because Klopp was talking about he needs to get settled, he needs to get adapted, but I mean he's not gonna get settled if he's playing 5 minutes per game or 10 minutes per game when Liverpool is struggling and chasing the game. No, that's not the way you settle a player. So it's really good to see him start. Maybe in the background you see this little rascal. He's there as well, but yeah, he's probably not watching the match. But yeah, he's maybe you saw him. You thought what's going on there, but yeah, that's my cat. Let's have a look at the comments. Yo, what's good, bro? Flawless, all good, man. Hopefully, you're doing well as well, and looking forward to the games. And let me know which game are you gonna watch. For me, it's Liverpool, but obviously I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch to different games because I want to have a look at all the players. But Liverpool will be the main focus for me for sure. Alex says, "Nice to see you again. Nice to see you as well, Alex." Sometimes I recognize the usernames from Twitter, but I don't always do it. And also now Alex, because it's really a generic name, I'm not sure who you are on Twitter. But if you say the username, I probably will recognize you. But it's nice to see you again as well. And Flawless, nice. Darwin has to score today, otherwise the hate is gonna get worse. Yeah, I mean the hate is gonna be there anyway. But I agree with you that scoring today would help because it's just a confidence booster. So I agree with this. So I hope he scores. And I mean Liverpool playing really offensive. I'm now watching Darwin in the warm up here with Jota, Salah, and also Diaz. Who are all starting. So basically four forwards. You can sometimes think of Firmino, who's obviously a striker, but he's doing so much defensively. You can always sometimes think of him as the first defender up front. And these other four, Jota, Diaz, Salah, Darwin, they are pure attackers, pure forwards. So it's really offensive for Liverpool. That's nice to see because they're playing at home against Rangers, who is you would say the favorite to finish last in this group. No disrespect, but that is just the way it is. And Liverpool are obviously going through a really tough spell. and they need to get going again, basically. So today is a good opportunity to really get the confidence up with a win and also with a good offensive display. So hopefully this can be the case, and hopefully Darwin can be one of the main men, the protagonist of the night. Um, Alex, also we need him to score and shut the bad mouths. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Abimanju says, why was Ugarte subbed off? So yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Ugarte was subbed off at halftime against Marseille when Sporting were losing 3-0 or 3-1. So I think it's a case of damage limitation. Although I don't really get why you would um, sub off Ugarte, because defensively he's one of the best players for Sporting. In midfield, the amount of balls he recovers and the amount of threat he neutralizes with his intelligence in front of the back four or back five at times is really important for Sporting. But yeah, I mean, Amorim probably thought that he wanted to go even more defensive, and I don't know. This was just the decision. It's the technical decision, but yeah, it's not like a reflection on a bad game Ugarte was having. For me, it wasn't anyway. So no worries about Ugarte. No injury. That's also good to mention, because you never know with injuries. This will be a bad thing. Certainly with the World Cup around the corner. But yeah, I think it was just one of these things. They were losing 3-1, one man down, and the manager is just gonna change it up then, I guess. Farid Haji says, "Good to see you, friend." Hello, Farid. Good to see you as well. Thanks for you guys being here. And I see that you're already subscribed for basically every one of you, and that's nice, because we are now on 819, 820, and I want to reach 1,000 in the World Cup, because obviously it's not easy to do such a thing. So that would be great if we can, because even though during the World Cup my school is still going on and a lot of stuff I have to do, I will absolutely keep posting and doing videos, because the World Cup is the World Cup. Yeah, that's a special time. Um, Farid says, I haven't seen any updates yet on Arajo's surgery. Have you? Yeah, there's been some, but like last week, because he obviously went to Finland and had his surgery, which was successful. And now he is. I posted one tweet today that he's even starting physiotherapy. So the start of his recovery is on the way. But yeah, there also was a comment from Ignacio Alonso, the president of the Uruguayan Football Association, who said that it was a bit more negative, that it's not probable for Arajo to make it to the World Cup. And then there was Diego Alonso, like last week, saying that they are counting on him and they have faith. So yeah, it's I try to highlight the positive, because there's no reason to have this negative side. And when you look at the comments about this injury, Luis Ripoll, I think his name is one of the leading doctors in Spain, and he said that there's no reason to think that Arajo cannot make it to the World Cup. So he was really optimistic about Arajo's chances of making it to the World Cup. And you also have to realize with Arajo is that Uruguay play, I think it's not okay. Uruguay have to go through the group stages. Obviously, that's the case, and that's not a certain thing. So we should not consider this as as a certain thing. But when you have 26 players you can call up, like the national teams have in this World Cup, you can also take chances. And Arajo, with in mind that Uruguay want or are going to make it to the next round, which is obviously our aim. Our aim is to go as far as we can. Then it's reasonable to assume that Arajo, even if he's not fully fit for the opening game, the group stage game, um, you can still take him with the prospect of having him fully fit for the knockout stages. So, and between the group stages, the start and the knockout stages, I think there will be probably like week, 2 weeks. I think 1.5 week, 2 weeks, and that can certainly be the difference between him being fit and not fit. So it could be the case that Rajo comes to Qatar and he is not fit at the start of the tournament, a bit like Suarez in 2014. And Suarez's injury was also he got fit and he recuperated far ahead of the schedule that was expected. But that's the thing with Suarez. Suarez always has this miracle recoveries because he takes a lot of risks, and he risks his own health and his knees basically did. So this is why later on in his career he had many problems with his knees, because he rushed a lot of injuries to be fit for Uruguay or for his club, and this obviously does damage in the long term. But Suarez is a player who does this, and that's why we love him as well. But it's also not a good career advice, to be honest. So the fact that Araujo had this surgery was brilliant, but the can it can be the case, like I said, that he will be fit maybe in December, start of December, which means the start of the knockout stages, and not fit at the start of the tournament, which will be mid-November. So we will see. I'm just, yeah, just talking about possibilities. If not, maybe, or, but it's not no. Well, we have to just wait how his recovery goes. Friend man says, love the content. Thank you, man. Appreciate it a lot. Are you from the USA? No, I'm not. I'm living in. I live in the Netherlands. So no, not the USA. Never been there as well. Maybe one time, one day I will be there. Seems really like a nice visit, to be honest. But yeah, I live in the Netherlands. CAFC 72. Yo, hello, man. Good to see you. Hello, man. Good to see you as well. Nice that you are here, and appreciate it. Appreciate you all dropping by and yeah, visiting the channel. Farid says, check this out. Nacho Alonso was on Radio Uruguay in the last hour. He expressed that he'd like to have Diego Alonso continue the coach. I have Diego Alonso continue to coach the national team after the World Cup. Okay, I didn't see that, but my first reaction for this is that it's so unnecessary to say this. It's like, yeah, Alonso's doing well. I mean, he got us to the World Cup when Uruguay were in a bad position. But it's good to have confidence and to express your confidence in a player or in a manager. That's good to do. Certainly when you're in a job like a high public job where a lot of people are interested in it. It's good to have this confidence and express it. But what is the differences it make now? World Cup is like in 2 months. Why are you talking about this now? I mean, let's see how it goes, because there's no really use in it. And that's the thing also with the Uruguayan Football Association, with Alonso in charge, but not only Alonso, because he's just one of many puppets in this organization, is that a lot of their decisions are based on what is convenient for themselves. And keeping Tabres on because he was protected by the media, and he was like someone who takes all the blame. He was the figurehead of the organization, so he was really protecting them from all the blame. It was convenient for them to keep him on. But when you are looking at just the football reasons, it was never the good decision. Certainly since 2018, 2019, it wasn't a good decision anymore. So that's what we all, I think, I have, but a lot of other people have against the AUF and someone like Alonso, is that the decisions they make or the lack of decisions are frustrating and not to be understood for me. And this quote, I mean, or this quote of today, yeah, I don't really see the point in it, but okay. That's that. No Araujo, no problem, says Abimanchu. I believe in Coates and Josema supremacy. Well, the thing is, I also believe in them. I mean, I think Araujo is our best central defender at the moment. While he's injured, but so not at the moment. But you get what I'm saying. But Josema fully injured and with some rhythm, because he's back from injury now once again. If he can get through the World Cup or onto the World Cup, get through these games in rhythm, in good form, fit, then that's really positive, obviously. And then you have Josema doing so well and in a good condition. Then Josema is one of the best central defenders in the world, and we all know this. But injuries is always a problem. Coates is also a really good center back. In the last 3 years, he's been absolutely brilliant for Sporting. So obviously, it's a good partnership. So Araujo not being there is not like it's not like Suarez not being there a few years back. It's not like that difference, but it's still a big loss. And certainly when you come up against the big opponents with likes of Vinicius and Mbappe on the left channel, on the left side, and you want to have Araujo as your right back, which is obviously the plan for Alonso. So then it will be big miss. So yeah, I mean, I also have confidence in the two you mentioned, but Araujo being there would also help a lot. Alex says, "What's your opinion on Gaston Alvarez, Getafe Uruguayan player?" Yeah, I mean, really interesting name that you mentioned now, because it is a young player, 22 years of age. He's still owned by Boston River, which coincidentally is the same club where Araujo played for before he went to Barcelona. So he's still on loan from Boston River to Getafe. Last season he came there in January. He got no minutes, no chances, even though Getafe weren't always doing well. But oh well, that's the case, you know. Sometimes you have to wait for an opportunity. Then in the summer, he remained at Getafe. They kept him on. In the preseason, he scored, I think, 2 goals against, I don't know against who it was, but he scored 2 goals in a friendly. So that's a nice thing. I mean, it's not his task, you know, to score goals, but it's a nice thing anyway. And this season, when Getafe started off again in the season, they started off really bad, conceding loads of goals. Then he came on, or had his debut basically against Villarreal at left back, which is not his position. He's a center back. He played really well, solid, aggressive. The game afterwards, he was dropped to the bench again, but he came on and scored a goal for Getafe. So there's something about this lad. You know, you already knew that he comes on in his first game, his debut. He plays so well in a position that is not his. Second game, he is dropped, even though he played really well in his first game the week before. Then he comes on in the second game and scores a goal. So yeah, it's hard to ignore him then. And since then, he started, I think, all the games for Getafe, and he's done really well. He scored another goal against Osasuna, a header. And yeah, it seems now like he has settled and he's consolidated himself in the Getafe team. And he's a player who is, he's I think he's decent playing from the back with decent passing abilities. Although at Getafe, this is not something they focus on. It's a really pragmatic, aggressive team. But defensively, I think Gaston Alvarez is really good at getting in the duel, strong, really propose himself to his opponent and really dominate, trying to dominate on the ground and on the air. And he's aggressive. He's really aggressive. I like him a lot. I think he's a good defender who can certainly cut out some problems like his aggressivity, or how do you say, his well, his aggressive nature maybe, his focus sometimes. But you can really see he's an old school defender, and that's really great to see. By the way, a couple of minutes until the game starts. I see now Liverpool coming or walking onto the Anfield pitch, the Liverpool team, along with the Glasgow Rangers team. So yeah, really excited to see how this goes. Yeah. It remains a beautiful sight to see Anfield under the lights. You know, I've never been there. Certainly want to go there one day. It's really something else. Jorge Cepero says, "Hi, David. Hey, Jorge. Good to see you back once again, man. Really appreciate your support on the channel. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. It's been I was sick yesterday, and now I recovered a little bit, and so I'm okay again. That's nice. Hope you're doing well as well, man. If Araujo doesn't recover, do you think the expectation for Uruguay should be lowered? Well, not particularly, no, but I do understand that it is a big loss, and certainly in the situation, like I mentioned a few moments ago, when Uruguay come up against the big teams and they need Araujo really to neutralize the threat that Vinicius Junior, for example, proposes, or Mbappe. These are the two names I mentioned because and Rafael Leao, for example, for Portugal. So it could be it's a loss, you know, and it could be costly. But one loss, certainly when we have a squad which is really good in depth as well, should not be decisive. Although it could play a part, but no, the expectation should not be lowered instantly. But it's not nice. Obviously, it's a good player for us. Certainly one of our best players, Uruguay's players in this year. So yeah. Flawless says, where do you watch all the football matches? So normally I would have some channels on the Dutch television, which are paid channels, and for this I can watch the some international games or Premier League games, stuff like this, and then the rest I would watch on illegal streams online. But since a couple of weeks, a friend of mine had well, let's explain it right. A friend of mine has a contact, like a friend of his, who has these, I will show it, these boxes, which really receive basically all the TV channels, or most channels worldwide. So I can go to the UK or example Uruguay as well, although there are really limited options in terms of channels. But I can go to the UK or Spanish TV, and I can watch like basically Sky Sports, BT Sport. I'm now watching BT Sport 2 for like €12 a month, and the price of the box was like 270, which is obviously it's a lot of money. But yeah, it makes sure now that I can go, for example, if Maxi Gomez plays for Trabzonspor, I can go to Turkish TV and I can search for one of the sport channels and I can watch them live. So that's how I can watch the live games at the moment. So that's really nice. But I have to say it also comes with a delay, a little bit of delay. So hopefully, if Darwin scores tonight, please don't spam it in the comments. I mean, I appreciate the how do you say, the passion, but yeah, I would like to see it myself. But you know, it will be okay. No worries. Ajay Gulsar says, Ajay, good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good day. I keep thinking about how Tornado would start Godin at the World Cup instead of Coates. Surely not, right? No, surely not. I think as well. I mean, you know what? I like Godin, but he's not played for Vélez in the. I think it's the last. Yeah, what is it? I think the last 2 months, 1.5 months, and the World Cup is less than 2 months away now. So yeah, I mean, Diego Alonso values Godin as the captain, and that probably means that he will go to the World Cup. But I mean, yeah, I mean, still, it's okay for him to go to the World Cup, but I don't think he should be a starter, and I think we all know this. I'm going to do a quick tweet that the matches are on the way, and that more people can join in if they want. If not, then that's also okay, obviously. But let's have a look. So I'm sorry for the silence, but I'm really struggling here to get this sorted. But there I am. So Liverpool started off with Giovanni van Bronckhorst, the manager of Rangers, one of my compatriots, but that's a different story. So yeah, hopefully Liverpool can get off a quick start and Darwin can get on the score sheet. That would be the best start probably. So yeah, on Godin, I think, like I said, Alonso obviously values him as the captain, and we all do, but he's not ignorant or like naive. So I mean, yeah, we never know what's gonna happen, but I don't think Alonso, if it continues like this, you know, the situation of Godin, can really consider him as a starter. That would be just absolutely bonkers, basically. Jorge, I think Alonso will start Godin. I hope you're not right, man. I hope you're not right. Haaland or Mbappe says Abimanju. Well, they're both really great players or great talents. You know what? I actually like João Felix is a player I'm like more than these other two, but Felix is still not in. Oh, Darwin! His first shot on goal, but it's saved by the goalie. That's okay. That's a promising start. So I like João Felix better, but João Felix is not living up to his potential yet. But he's a more technical player and player more to my heart. But Haaland and Mbappe are really like modern players, quick, strong, and really effective. Or effective is maybe not a great word because they also miss chances, especially Mbappe. But yeah, they score lots of goals, and yeah, these modern players. I would probably go with Haaland in the moment. But Haaland is a great goal scorer, but it's not such a great. It's not number 9. I like my number 9s to be like Suarez was when he was at Liverpool in his last year, or or at Barca in his first few years. No, but yeah, so it's not my taste. But Haaland is a great goal scorer. He's a robot basically. Um, CAFC72 says, "What do you think about Agustin Rogel? He made a good debut in Bundesliga 2 days ago. Do you think he could succeed in Germany?" Yeah, I really like Rogel. I think I remember watching him play for the under 20 team in 2017 when Uruguay were crowned South American champions, Sudamericano champions, for the first time. And I think it was since 1981. So the first time in 36 years. This was a big moment, and Agustin Rogel was really playing well in this tournament at center back. So and I remember back then he was linked with many teams in Europe, and eventually, what happened as well? Let's have a look. I think he went to Russia. He went to Russia, then he went to France, and basically didn't work out. Then he went back to South America. He went to play for Argentinian team Estudiantes, and he really recovered his form in the last 12, 18 months. Not only defensively, but also scoring loads of goals from the set pieces. So his move to the Bundesliga, to the Hertha BSC, was something I really liked when I saw it happen. And I believe he has all the capabilities, all the talent to succeed, basically. Liverpool really starting on the front foot there. Okay, so I really like this debut. I didn't watch the full half, but I like in the 60-minute mark. I put the game on when Rogel came on at halftime, obviously, and yeah, it was Rogel as we basically come to know him: aggressive, no nonsense, and really trying to dominate the offensive or the defensive, dominate his area basically. So I think he can succeed in Germany for sure. There's no reason to think he cannot, because he's a really good player. Yeah. So hopefully he can, and that would be great. Salazar in Germany now, and also Rogel, 2 players, and Uruguay have not historically been blessed with a lot of with a lot of players in Germany. But yeah, it's good to see them too. Two relatively young players, so that's really good to see. Let's have a look. For some reason, my TV is like messing up a little bit there, so I'm gonna restart it. Okay, should be good now, hopefully. But anyway, Jorge Cepero says, "What a go by Van Bronckhorst versus Uruguay." Yes, it certainly was. I mean, and it probably was one of his only times he ever, well, pulled that kind of goal off, because although he was a good footballer, he was never known for his goals or for his these kind of goals. But yeah, that was a brilliant goal, we have to admit. Jorge says Mbappe is better because he can dribble. Haaland is still great though. I underrated him. Yeah, Mbappe is probably more complete, but yeah, and so they are different players. I agree with you, by the way. But Haaland, yeah, at the moment everybody talks about Haaland because he's ripping up the Premier League, and it's kind of funny, because a lot of Premier League. I wouldn't consider myself a Premier League fan. I'm a fan of football, and I probably watch more La Liga football than Premier League. But you have some of these Premier League fans who really pick up the Premier League and ridicule all of the goal scorers from France or Germany, and they say, "Well, it's a farmers' league. They will never pull it off in the Premier League." And then Haaland comes and he scores, 14 goals in 8 games. Kind of really the mid finishes. The arguments they made are really foolish. But what I also think, despite Haaland being a really good young striker and probably one of maybe the best striker in the world right now, what it also means, or what it also says to me, is that modern day football, with more and more super teams and more attack minded. Oh, what a goal by Trent! 1-0 to Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a brilliant free kick, and to open a score for Liverpool against Rangers 7 minutes into the game. And Liverpool have the start they really need, because we all know what a slow start it has been to the season for Liverpool. But that's a brilliant goal. That's an absolutely brilliant goal. Trent, who's had a lot of criticism lately, and also kind of deserved for his lack of defensive involvement in Liverpool's side. And well, but that's another story. It's a really, really brilliant goal. Unbelievable. Good free kick. I think it's 20 yards away, and it's a really good goal. And I see there's a goal now for Ajax away to Napoli, or at home to Napoli, I'm sorry. So let's switch over and have a look on this. So yeah. So Trent with the opening goal for Liverpool, and Ajax opening the score against Napoli with Matias Oliveira in the starting 11. Let's hope he's not involved in his goal for some way or another. So let's have a look. But the Trent goal is really brilliant. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know if you were watching live at the moment, but it's a really brilliant goal. Like a free kick out of the playbook, basically. Yes, now we're gonna watch the Ajax go here. Let's have a look. So it's Bergwijn to Taylor, Taylor, and it's a goal. Yeah, Oliveira was never involved in that. I'm just trying to get my boy clear from any critics, but but it's a nice goal, and I think Ajax won their first game. I think they did against Rangers 4-0, and then they lost away to Liverpool, and now they're taking the lead against Napoli. Napoli who won their opening two games. So yeah, it's this is an interesting group. Obviously, we know that. It's wide open because there are many quality teams, or at least three quality teams, who at this moment in time are really at the same level for a little bit, to be honest. Because Liverpool obviously dropping their level in the start of the season, Ajax being a really good team who have proven themselves in Europe over the past 5 years, and Napoli flying high in Italy, and also, well, a great start in the Champions League this season. So this group is wide open for sure. And I'm just gonna check now what the virtual standings are. Yes, Ajax will be on 6 points, like Napoli and like Liverpool, if it stays like this, which is obviously a big if because still more than 80 minutes to play. So, but yeah, it's a nice start, a busy start in Group A of the Champions League this season. Okay, let's have a look. Danny F says thoughts on Joaquin Sosa. I saw his debut versus Juve and thought he played well considering he was the left center back and the goals came from the right side. So I only watched the highlights from Joaquin Sosa. I saw that he was. Let's have a look here. Darwin. Okay, no, nothing going on. Now I was worrying a little bit there. But okay, so I didn't watch the game, but it was really nice to see him get a chance in a game as big as that. Away to Juve. I mean, Juve not been doing well lately, um, but still, Juve is arguably the biggest team in Italy. So away at Juve playing is a big thing. And well, they lost 3-0. And I didn't watch the game, so I cannot say much about it, to be honest. But Danny, you say that he played well. He played well considering he was the left center back and the goals came from the right side. Could be the case. I don't know. Hopefully, he just gets more game time now and gets an opportunity to show his qualities. Just 20 years of age as well. That's also something we have to remember. 20 years of age. I think he debuted in professional football only 18 months ago. So to be where he is right now, it's quite something. And hopefully he can get some minutes, some continued playing time in Italy and show his quality. That would be great. Jorge says Haaland is a great player, but I think the amount of goals he scored recently has a bit to do with our City play. Yeah, obviously, that's what I think as well, to be honest. Because playing for like such a super team who creates so much, are so better than the rest of the teams in the league, apart maybe from Liverpool when they're on form. It it means that the opportunities that come for him are just enormous, and that's also something that really is a deciding factor, and is that's for sure. I mean, I agree with you on this one. Um, so yeah, so I agree for sure. Um, okay, Lisa Smith, good to see you here, Lisa. Darwin Feisty with the red already. He's not got a red already, right? No, no. I know he's not got a red, but I saw he had a little bit of a collision with the opponent, and I was thinking, keep your head, Darwin. Please keep your head. We cannot have this for another time. The red card, stupid red card, because this is the period of the season where Darwin really has to get his minutes and get some rhythm in his games, because the World Cup is I think it's 46 days away, and the reason I know this is because Ovation have like on their page they have always have the amount of days, the clock, running down from the minute, the hour and day, all of them combined. So yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to switch channels now. Sorry. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm there now. Jorge says, where does Suarez rank for you among the greatest strikers who ever played? Well, I can only say, or I can only rank them on the best players um, that they are currently that I've seen play. I mean, so I can only talk about this because I don't know anything about. I don't know any. I do know something about, but I don't really. For example, Marco van Basten is a really great striker, but I've never seen him play like week in week out, and to have a really a balanced and a fair judgment of a player is to really follow their career. And Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, I was also too young back then, so I can probably the earliest I have from when I follow football is 2006 2007. That's basically when I started to follow football as like a human being with really all the capabilities of thinking, watching, analyzing, started to emerge. I mean, when you're a young kid, you obviously don't have to think about football like anything else, that anything other than something you are inspired by or really enthusiasted by. So yeah, so 2007 2008 is probably the first time when I really started to watch football as more than a fan, and also someone as something that I really wanted to know more about. I want to have my own opinion on it. So from that point, I can honestly say that Suarez is the greatest striker I've ever seen play. But I cannot speak about the whole history. But yeah, Suarez for me is certainly the best striker I've seen play live, and that's also a really good thing I mean, a good thing to say, because yeah, I mean, there have been many great strikers in the last 10, 15 years, but Suarez for me is the best. And people might say I'm biased in this, but I don't really think that. I mean, it's just my opinion. So yeah, that's what I can say about it. I'm sorry, but this channel is really freezing. So it's really nice that I have this option of having more channels worldwide to watch, but it's not always working. Let's be honest here. Honestly, Jesus. Okay, let's have a look. This isn't related with Uruguay, but you're Dutch, and I have a friend who is a big fan of AZ Alkmaar, and now AZ is on the top of the Eredivisie. So do you think they could win the league? Um, I mean, this is a hard question. I don't follow the Dutch competition like week in week out. I obviously managed to catch some of the highlights and how it's going, but I don't watch like live Eredivisie games because I focus more on international football and on how Uruguayans are doing. But I obviously do have friends who do support local clubs, or Ajax, for example, or some Feyenoord. Um, so I have some insight in it. But I don't think they can win the league. They are doing really well, and obviously they are now top of the Eredivisie, like you mentioned. But it's going to be hard to keep Ajax off their tails, and I think Ajax will be champions. So yeah, I do think so. but it would be nice for your friend for sure. And also, I also have friends who are AZ fans because I live close to AZ. So AZ is in Alkmaar, which is a city in the north of the Netherlands, and Amsterdam is also in the north, but it's more central. So it's more to the middle of the Netherlands than Alkmaar. Alkmaar is really up to the north of the Netherlands, and I live in a small town nearby Alkmaar. So yeah, my like community is more focused, or more AZ is more how do you say it, incorporated in my community, because it's really nearby. But Ajax is obviously the biggest club in the Netherlands. So yeah, I have friends who do support both teams. Well, they don't support both teams, but you know what I mean. One friend does support AZ, and a few others support Ajax. So yeah, it would be nice if AZ can get in the title race. It's been a while. I'm sure it's been a while. I think 2008. I think they became champions, probably like this. So it's been a while. But yeah, it's gonna be hard for them because Ajax are clearly okay. Ajay says here. Let's have a look. So Oliveira with the assist for Napoli. Let's have a look here. That's a really good pass. That's a really good pass. It's a really good ball from Oliveira, and it's his second assist in two Champions League games, or three. I'm sorry. That's a really good cross. That's really nice. That's really moment for Oliveira getting a start now, and he's proving to be important immediately. That's really great. That's really brilliant. Ajay with the comment, Oliveira with the assist for Ajax. And that's 1-1 in Amsterdam. That's brilliant. I don't know what is going on with this TV because it keeps freezing and it's really annoying. I don't understand this. Liverpool keep pushing here. 20 minutes played and it's 1-0 to Liverpool still. So I'm gonna tweet about Matheus Oliveira, obviously, because it's the man of the moment now with an assist. Okay. So, like I said, Oliveira, 2 assists in 2 games, or in 2 starts, in 3 games, 3 appearances in the Champions League this season. So that's not a bad statistic, to be honest. And this was a really good cross. A really good cross. So, okay. So that's a really good start for Oliveira, and 20 minutes in and giving the assist. So yeah, Jorge says, was Pennyroll founded in 1891 or 1913? Well, I'm not getting into this, and you know why, obviously, because yeah, it's. I want to keep away from the threats, to be honest. So no, I'm not gonna do that. Um, Lisa Smith says, if you can find CBS Sports Golasso show, it covers all the matches at once. Yeah, I will try that for sure. Now that would be nice. If there's not too much delay, because maybe it will be more delay because they cover it at once. But I will check it out now for sure. CBS Network here, and then Yeah, I'm there now. That's really brilliant. I didn't even know they have this. To be honest, I do know Switch channels in the Netherlands also have their have one of these, but it's really like a lot of delay, and I don't like that, to be honest. Uh, and there's now potential penalty check at Inter against Barca. Let's have a look. How it's gonna turn out. Inter obviously. Oh, seems like Inter are getting a penalty here because the referee is going to the VAR check. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, but Inter. Well, we all know Inter's not been doing well this not doing well this season in Italy. I think they're like something like seventh. No, it's offside. It's offside. Offside. There's no penalty. So would have been penalty if it was not offside. Joaquin Correa, because it was a handball from Barcelona. But anyway, so Inter not doing well this season in Serie A. Um, but yeah, this is a big game for them for sure. I always remember Inter playing against Barcelona at home in 2010 when with Snyder and Milito when I think they won. I think it was 3-1 for Inter. I'm sure it was 3-1 with Snyder with a goal. Yeah, it was really brilliant. Inter that season with Mourinho was crazy. I really loved them. But CFC 72 says it's good to see Oliveira making good plays. Hopefully, in 1 or 2 months, he could finally become a starter. Yes, would be nice. I mean, we would have loved to see him start right away for Napoli, but with Mario Rui there, who's one of the more experienced players and also not doing that bad, to be honest. I heard because I don't follow Napoli that much, but I was on a podcast um, with I forgot the name now, but with a Napoli fan. Well, let's have a quick check because I don't really like to forget this. Um, but I was on a podcast with the Napoli fan and who are covering Napoli. Um, Forza Napoli podcast. That's the one. That's the one. So I was with them, uh, or isn't it them? Yes, it was with Joe Fischetti. So anyway, so I was with him before the season, and we were talking about Oliveira because he was the summer signing for them. Um, and he was also talking about Mario Rui, doing really well last season for Napoli. So it was always going to be tough. And Mario Rui is not someone who's going to be benched straight away for Oliveira, so he has to fight first place. And that is the case. But the fact that Oliveira is being given 2 starts in the Champions League this season already, that really is a testament to Spalletti's confidence in Oliveira because it's the Champions League, it's the biggest competition for that there is. You can argue that Serie A or the league is the bread and butter. This is something you have to focus on the most. But Champions League is it's Champions League. We all know the importance of this. So for him to start 2 games so far in this competition really proves that Spalletti has confidence in him, but that it's not like it's not an instant adaptation. He has to win his place gradually. So hopefully he can do this. Will be nice. Morata with a good chance for Atletico, but he misses away to Club Brugge. That was a really good chance. 25 minutes into the game, and Morata, who has had a decent start this season for Atletico, missed a big chance there. To be honest, that's a shame. If you are an Atletico supporter, obviously. So yeah, it is. It is. It is so far. It's all the goals have all been in Group A with Liverpool, Rangers, and Ajax against Napoli. And now we're going back to Liverpool here with a corner kick from Tsimikas. Let's have a look if Darwin can get his head to this one. That would be nice. No, it's not the case, unfortunately. Maybe now. Oh, almost out. I mean, really be nice to see him get a goal. I mean, it has to happen for sure. It has to happen because then he's there again. I mean, that is a kickstart moment for me anyway. But the Rangers are still defending quite deep for this moment, and Liverpool are pressing and pressing and having the initiative, which obviously with Liverpool they want to suffocate the opponents. Oh, another really really threatening corner coming from the foot of the brilliant Trent Alexander-Arnold, but no goal for Liverpool, as it still is 1-0 to the Reds. So yeah, let's have a look at something completely different and from the last weekend. But yeah, I think it's time to do. Gonna give a quick look through the weekend. So let's have a look. Espanyol Valencia, a feisty game. I watched the first 70 minutes, but then Cavani was subbed off. But it's good to see Cavani getting some playing time, which is much needed. Certainly with the World Cup closing in, it's good to see him get minutes, and he looked pretty fit. I mean, he's not that sharp in front of goal. He wasn't. He had one or two opportunities, and he could have done better. But yeah, he's gaining fitness, and that's good to see anyway. Another thing we saw, which was already mentioned by, I think it's CAFC. I'm pretty sure on the stream with a comment, is that Agustin Rogel made his debut for Hertha this last weekend, and he did well. He did really well, and it's good to see him start and get minutes. That's nice. That's really nice. Elsewhere, Sassuolo played against Salernitana, and Agustin Alvarez Martinez came on at halftime, gave an assist, should have got a goal, had a really good opportunity, but didn't score, which is a shame. But you have to realize, I think he's played, I think it's something like 80 minutes in the Serie A so far, and he's got an assist and a goal. Now, that's not a bad start. I mean, that's just a really good start, to be fair. So I'm just gonna the quick things, the quick highlights. Not gonna have everything discussed at the moment. Normally, we would do this on a Monday, but to be honest, yesterday I was sick, so I couldn't really do it. That's a shame. But okay, Getafe, they did lose, which is a shame. But Damian Suarez did score a goal, and it was a really good goal, a chipped goal. A really delicate chip, and it was a nice goal from Damian, his first goal of the season. Atletico Madrid won 2-0 against Sevilla, and Jose Jimenez, thank God he was back, as he's also playing tonight, but he was also playing on the weekend, doing well, keeping a clean sheet. That's what we want to see, obviously, and it did happen, so that's great. So yeah, some moments, some players, just have a look at how they did this weekend. Not a lot of goals, but still, overall, Uruguayans doing well. Some good performances, and that's really basically becoming it's happening every week. And, Uruguayans doing well. Not all the Uruguayans doing well, because that would be would be utopia basically. Every week you're seeing Uruguayans do well all the time, but anyway, every weekend we can always highlight a few Charrúas that grabbed the spotlights, scored a goal, or maybe had a good performance at the back. So that's really good to see, and it underlines or it confirms the depth of the Uruguayan football at the moment, the depth of the Uruguayan players in Europe or in South America or in other continents anyway. That everywhere Uruguayans are coming up and doing well, and the quantity is just getting better and better, and the quality is not bad as well, we have to say. So yeah, it's really nice to see, obviously. So I'm watching now Inter Barça. I do think that this channel, they are focusing on Inter Barça, which I can honestly understand. But I'm gonna. Oh wait, there's a goal coming up. That's all I can tell. That's not telling anything more. There's a goal coming up, and it could be a Uruguayan that is involved. That I don't know, but I'm just guessing here, guessing with some wishful thinking, maybe. So yeah, let's see. It should switch soon, because I'm going to keep at this channel, the CBS sports channel, who is highlighting every game. So yeah, but now I'm really seeing the delay at the moment because it should be on. The goal should be on really like a couple of seconds, couple of minutes ago maybe, but it's still not there, which is a shame. It's not the Uruguayan who scored the goal. That's all I can tell. That's all I can tell. Maybe assist, maybe another assist for a certain left back from from Uruguay. Let's have a look. Jorge Cepero says, "Are you pessimistic or optimistic about what Uruguay showed versus Iran and Canada?" Well, I think the game against Canada showed that Uruguay do really well when the opponents are showing initiative because we have a lot of options on the break in a quick transition. So that's good. But the game against Iran also showed that when Uruguay face a low block, they still struggle. They struggle to create chances at volume. So a bit of both, to be honest. But I don't really get drawn into the pessimistic or really overly optimistic at the moment because I'm okay with Alonso as manager. I really like him. I do, and I think we have a really good squad in depth. So I'm optimistic, I would say, and that hasn't changed in the international break. Absolutely not. So yeah, I would say I'm optimistic. But I was optimistic also before the international break, and nothing has changed since, to be honest. I'm not that shocked about things I saw or disappointed. Obviously, some things I would have liked to see, like Cabrera get a chance or Rogel maybe get a full game ahead of Martin Cáceres. But that's that, these are minor things. Overall, I'm optimistic about Uruguay and the situation that our national team is living. So yeah, that's for sure. Some goals really happening now, on many fields in Europe. But you know what? As it's not going to be played here now, because it seems like they're just focusing on Inter against Barca. I'm gonna switch again to BT Sports. Thanks for the advice anyway, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Believe me, but I think the American television is a little bit too in love with Barcelona. Um, let's have a look. Okay, Club Brugge is okay. That's really interesting. Club Brugge, and it's Ferran Jutra, and then it's walked in by, I don't really recognize this player, Soa. It's on the name on his back, so it should be him. Soa, who scores the goal to take the lead for Brugge against Atletico Madrid, which is quite a surprise. Yeah, although Brugge, I think they started off the Champions League group stages really well. I think they won their first two games or got 4 points. One of these things anyway. So maybe it's not a big as a surprise as it could be, or maybe it should be, because they have done really well so far. And yeah, Oliveira. I mean, I switch now to Ajax Napoli, and Napoli are leading 2-1, which was something I was hinting at like a moment ago. And Oliveira is back, or is on the ground, which is, well, worrying at first glance. But let's have a look. Let's have a look now. I mean, Dusan Tadic has inflicted the pain on Oliveira, and not on this incident solely, but Tadic. I mean, I watch Ajax quite a bit in Europe. Sometimes I see it on Dutch football, but Tadic is one of the most annoying football characters I've ever seen. I mean, this is a good player, and people like it when players show passion or really that they live the game, But Tadic is just a child, a child trapped in a body of a 36-year-old. Really, honestly, I mean, really. Such an annoying character, but anyway. Okay. Jorge Cepero says, do you think Argentina and Brazil will both make the semifinals and face each other? Yeah, you're giving me the tough questions, Jorge. No, I'm just joking. But I think I don't know about that, to be honest. But I think Brazil will is what I don't I wanted to say Brazil will win the World Cup, but that's discrediting Uruguay immediately. So I'm not saying that. But I think Brazil are the big favorites. So I think Brazil will make it to the semi or the will make it to the final, and this means that Uruguay will finish first in that group and avoid Uruguay. Um, will avoid Brazil in the last 16 game. Um, but Argentina, I'm not sure what their schedule is, to be honest. So I cannot really tell. But Argentina are obviously in a good phase when it comes to the national team. Probably their best phase in like 20 or 25 years. So let's see. I mean, it's always nice if South American teams are doing well. That's what I would say. But yeah, I mean, but if all other four of them or three of them in this case get lose in the group stages and Uruguay can win the World Cup, I'm all good for South American teams not doing well. So Uruguay is the main focus, obviously. So yeah. The loss against Iran is still unbelievable because it's Iran. Well, Iran are not a bad national team, but I do agree that Uruguay are obviously a better team and should really beat Iran. But it happened, I mean, we can learn from it. That's how I would see it. So yeah, it's Napoli on the attack, and it's a really good pass. Napoli almost with a 3-1 away to Ajax. But it's a really good save from Remco Pasveer. Really is a good save because that was a good opportunity for Zielinski after a quality pass, a pullback basically. Lozano on the right wing. And he placed his ball, which like between the defense and the midfield, to pick out Zielinski on the edge of the box. But it's a good save by the Ajax goalkeeper, and it's still 2-1. So yeah, let's switch to Liverpool. We haven't seen or heard a lot from Liverpool lately, or I haven't anyway. And we haven't seen one bit, by the way, of Frankfurt against Tottenham with Bentancur playing. And so yeah, and we have to remember Tottenham won their first game against Marseille. And they lost against Sporting in their second game. So this is really an interesting game for both of them because if they want to advance these two games against each other, which follow up shortly, they have to get results, and Tottenham for sure has to get results here. So yeah, let's see. But now back to Liverpool with Salah on the wing. Salah with a good pass, but to Darwin. Oh! I thought it was in, man. I thought it was in. So Salah, like I said, on the wing, and with a cute pass or a good pass into Darwin. And it's not an easy angle, but he gets it in between the legs of the goalkeeper. But the goalkeeper just puts it wide. So yeah, that's a shame. That's really a shame. Almost Darwin with his first Premier League goal. So yeah, just a little bit of luck. We needed a little bit of more of luck there, and then it would be a goal. So that's really a shame. So I'm checking something out now because I posted a tweet on Suarez to LA Galaxy, which was a rumor, or is a rumor by a Catalan journalist, which is he's not the most reliable, but he's quite reliable. He's not Fabrizio Romano, for example, or Gerardo Romero, but he's quite reliable as well. Either, I mean, so not the most reliable, but he's not a bullshit talker, to be honest. And it's got some traction on Twitter, which is always nice to see, to be honest. But so let's see. Suarez after World Cup to the MLS, it's not something that would surprise me. But yeah, we will have to see. He's not going back to Europe, which he's already said. And then MLS is certainly a good option. Does he want to stay at Nacional? Jose Fuentes, the president, said that it's not going to happen. So you have to say that's a really credible source, to be honest. Is he going to a big team in Argentina or Brazil? It's also an option in Mexico, maybe. Who knows? But MLS has always been an option, certainly for a few years now. The possible reuniting of Messi and Suarez in the MLS was always a possibility. So let's see. It would be I wouldn't say exciting because that would be well, it's not what I think anyway, but it still would be a feasible option and an option that could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it honestly because I don't really. It's like the last step of the career for Suarez, which is not nice if you think about it, because this is a player that has given me and a lot of you probably so much throughout the years. But yeah, now it's Darwin. Darwin, oh, another save from the goalkeeper. Darwin really getting his chance on goal. And it wasn't an easy chance, by the way. But yeah, he's getting involved, making the runs in behind, and getting the surfers from his teammates, which is good to see for sure. Burn Roddy with a comment, which yeah, this is my kind of humor, so I like it, to be honest. When we lost, I ran so far away. Yeah, no, that's we have to hide a little bit. We have to be honest, yeah. Okay, let's go back now because there's another goal in Amsterdam, and I mean I'm not sure what's happening with Ajax here because there's not something. I mean, Ajax has been so good in the Champions League in recent years. Certainly in the group stages when they really blitz teams and yeah, really dominated basically. And now it seems that it's going to be another loss after losing to Liverpool a few weeks ago, and it is. It seems like it is gonna be because it's 3-1, and it is Piotr Zielinski who missed a chance a few minutes ago. But now the Polish international will also play the World Cup in the upcoming winter, the European winter anyway. He scores the goal, and it's 3-1 to Napoli in Amsterdam. And the defense from Ajax was wide open. It was a mistake in the build-up, which led to Napoli having a pretty easy run onto Pasveer, the goalkeeper. So yeah, it's 3-1 to Napoli, and Liverpool now with a chance. Diaz, Jota, but no chance at the end, and it's half time. It's half time, but it's not half time yet because we are gonna switch now to Inter. As Inter take the lead against Barcelona, it is Hakan Çalhanoğlu. And that's quite a surprise, to be honest, because like I said, Inter is not in a good situation, not at all. But Barcelona with Araujo not being there, are now down at halftime, and it's Hakan Çalhanoğlu, the Turkish playmaker, with a really good finish from outside of the box, which leaves Marc-Andre ter Stegen with no chance. And it's 1-0 to Inter, the reigning Italian champions now. Or not anymore. I'm sorry. Milan obviously are the reigning Italian champions. The champions of 2020 and 21. They are leading now against Barca, which is a big goal for them, for sure. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. So anyway, it seems to be halftime in most of the games. So let's have a quick glance through the scores. Probably, or maybe you are aware of all of them, but we are going to do it anyway. So Ajax against Napoli is 1-3 to Napoli, the Italians. This is a big score, obviously, for them. Liverpool leading 1-0 against Rangers from a goal or from the free kick from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Club Brugge are leading Atletico in a surprise for me, but we have to say now that Brugge are leading their group by 9 points in 3 games. That's really special for them, the Belgian champions. Porto Leverkusen, not the halftime yet, but they are drawing in a goalless draw. Bayern, they already finished 5-0 against Victoria Pilsen, which is pretty nice for them. But Bayern is always gonna come up with scores like this, even when Lewandowski is not there, because they're a footballing machine. Inter 1-0 against Barca, like we just mentioned. Olympique Marseille, they won against Sporting 4-1, a shame for the Uruguayans. And Eintracht Frankfurt against Tottenham Hotspur is goalless as well at the break. So yeah, I mean, that was interesting first half. A lot of things going on there. That was really interesting. Hopefully Darwin in the second half can get his name on the score sheet. That would be brilliant. So yeah, but yeah, maybe it's maybe he needs some time. Maybe he needs some time still. But it would be nice. So yeah, but yeah, maybe. I'm just trying to get the link here so that they can. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to put a tweet now that people can join. So yeah, okay. Let's have a look at the comments. Oh, here. Hopefully, Jorge says hopefully Uruguay face England in a World Cup and Darwin scores against them. Yeah, Suarez 2.0. That would be something. But yeah, I mean, he's always going to get criticized because that's just the nature of the game, and certainly in England. I'm just now looking and checking for Facundo Pellistri, who is playing like CFC here. Says he's playing in for Manchester under 21 at the moment. So yeah, he's playing in the EFL Trophy, which is a trophy where teams from the League One and League Two, so the third and fourth tier in English football, play, as well as some academy teams from the Premier League teams and the Championship teams. So it's like I think 16 teams from the Premier League and Championship academies. So I'm not sure how this is shared among the teams, but anyway, it's 16 youth teams basically from the top two tiers in English football, along with the 48 other teams in the third and fourth tier of English football. They compete for the English Football League trophy. So Pellistri is playing tonight, and that's good. I mean, that's good to see him play. It's not. I mean, when his teammates at international level, like Oliveira, like Darwin, like Bentancur, are playing in the Champions League, and you are playing in some sort of British town or city, a game which is probably watched by maybe 5,000 people at most. You know, it probably could be a few hundreds as well. It's not nice. It's a stark contrast, you know. But anyway, he's playing, and that's good to see. He's playing there, and hopefully he can get some minutes under his belt. What he needs to do for sure is he's going to the World Cup. That's what we all know, and that's great because he has been a good player for Uruguay. It's odd, you know, to see a player not playing for his club, being basically a starter for his national team, and certainly when he's now playing youth football, but he's gonna play in the World Cup. I'm really sure of this. Is he gonna be a constant starter? I don't know. That's not that we don't know that yet. But he's gonna play. But after the World Cup, he surely has to move away from United, whether it be permanently or on loan. He needs to get minutes. He needs to get minutes at a club who's playing attacking football, playing in the top of the league. So this is why I advise him to go, or I want him to go to a team which is challenging in the top positions. Like example, a team in Portugal, like for example Porto or maybe Braga, which is certainly a level that he can play at. If you are a starter for the Uruguay national team, this is a level you can play at for sure. Or maybe a team like PSV or Feyenoord, clubs like this where he's playing at an offensive team, trying to hopefully getting minutes, continuity, which he obviously has to earn. And that is the way he has to go forward, and that's the way he has to develop in football. He cannot keep going on loans to relegation battling teams in Spain or in France, playing this fighting football, which is absolutely not his game, you know. And he cannot keep going. He cannot do it. He cannot keep doing this for another year or two. That would be really a problem for his development. So yeah, like you say AFC 72. I agree with you. You need to we need to see him in a team which has confidence in him, gives continuity. But something you have to do to a player, and certainly a young player, is give him a chance. And the chance is not getting him on for 20 minutes, and then trying to or expect the world from him. A chance is giving him a run of 5, 6 games to prove himself, which he is not, he has never really had so far. So yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. Flawless, goddamn, that goalkeeper's good. Yeah, I mean Darwin had 3 shots I think, and they were really good saves so far. So he's done well, but still second off the goal, and Rangers, well, they are bound to tire out. I mean, I would anyway, but yeah, they're bound to tire out, and Liverpool are hopefully going to get more space and more chances, and Darwin hopefully can capitalize on this. Um, Flawless. Darwin is having to move a lot around the pitch just to get the ball. Yeah, so I mean, I've not been watching Liverpool the whole half, but what I can see, what we all can see, is that Rangers are being pushed back by Liverpool, which means that the space is limited on in the attacking third. But I mean, Darwin, what you see here, and that's why he is a striker, but he can play from other positions. But it's not like, how do you say this? So for Devika, he played sometimes from the left wing, but mostly he played as a striker. But he just went to the left wing or right wing to get into space to try to get in possession, or maybe to run the channel between the center back and the left back or the right back. So that's why he moved out wide, to find space or to get into possession. But it's not like he is a left winger. Obviously, he's not. We all know this. Everyone who watched more than 2 minutes of Darwin Nunez knows he's not a winger. He's not the type of profile that you want for a winger. Or anyway, it's not a convenient winger. Not a type you would come across a lot at this moment. So he's a striker, but he does well at finding spaces out wide as well. And certainly in games like this, when he's playing against a low block, it's something he tends to do, because he's no Haaland in the sense that he's not that patient, and this is probably something he needs to learn more as he gets older, and as he matures as a player. He's gonna learn this, because sometimes you have to be patient as a striker. If you didn't have the ball or didn't have a chance for 10 minutes, you get a bit like impatient because you want to make your impact. And Suarez, you could see with Suarez as well before. But Suarez also has commented on this in his career, that this is something you need to learn, because it's not easy. You want to make your impact on the game. But sometimes the best way to do this is to be patient and to keep waiting for the right moments and the right time to make your impact. But that's a really hard skill to learn, and some strikers have this more naturally to them than others. And Darwin is someone for sure who needs to learn this. I think anyway. And but that's no shame. I mean, that's no shame. And by the way, just now seeing that Uruguay under 20 win their friendly game against against Venezuela on the 20. That's always nice to see. And Uruguay under 17 also recently won the international tournament against with Germany, Germany, Belgium, and Israel in the same tournament. So there's no mean feat. So it's good to see youth teams doing well, because recently it's not been that good, to be honest. Uruguay losing a lot, and also big scores against Brazil recently. This is never nice to see, obviously. But yeah, Uruguay on the 20, obviously preparing for Sudamericano, which is in 2023 at the start of the year. That's really good to see that happening again with COVID. Obviously, this was getting cancelled, or it did get cancelled, which was normal, but wasn't nice, because it's really a good thing, because you really see the next generation. Sometimes you will see players that you never see again, like for example, well, Joaquin Ardais is a good example. Joaquin Ardais is someone who's now playing in Switzerland, but who obviously had, well, some, including me, had promising thoughts, or saw a promising picture for his career, because he was a decent player with qualities, strong, physical, knew how to score goals, but it didn't turn out to be the reality. But so sometimes you see players you never see again, but sometimes you see someone like, for example, Federico Valverde, who didn't play at the Sudamericano in 2017. He played at the World Cup. But Bentancur, for example, or De La Cruz, or Rodrigo Amaral, who turned out to be not a turned out to be a player, not out to be a player he could be, but he's now a player who plays in Bolivia, or not anymore, but he used to play in Bolivia, now back in Uruguay. So sometimes you see players who drop off, sometimes you see players who are not at the greatest level, but they go like this, like Diego Rossi, who was not playing a lot in the Sudamericano 2017, and sometimes you see players like Bentancur, or for example Ronald, or Darwin Nunez, or well, many names. You get what I mean. I'm trying to think now. 2019 one, Bruno Mendes, for example. You also saw, what's his name, Matias Oliveira as left back in 2017. I mean, I can go on. You see many players who are now part of the national team, or some players who are having good careers in Uruguay, or in Europe, or in South America. So it's always nice to see. It's the first contact, basically, or first orientation of the next generation, mostly. And I really like to follow it, to be honest. Yeah. So I'm just gonna look up Tottenham now. So they're still goalless at the way to Frankfurt, and it's been a pretty even game based on statistics, which is something you should not base your whole opinion on, obviously, but it's a good indicator. So yeah. Darwin needs to score as soon as possible to get confidence, says Bern Roddy. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, when you see him play against Rangers in the first half, I don't think he is someone lacking confidence, because he's really getting out there, making the runs, and trying to make it work. Already with a few shots on goal, so it's not someone who is lacking confidence. But a goal, obviously, there's no feeling better and more relieving of pressure than scoring a goal. So yeah. Baby Goat says Oliveira con asistencia. Yes, brilliant, and a really good cross as well. I mean, you can give an assist, which is basically a pass sideways, and then someone scores a worldie. But this was a really good assist, with a good ball, a delicate ball into the path of Raspidori, I think it was, who scored the goal. So yeah. CFC says, yeah. Hopefully, Facu Pelistri made a good World Cup, and good team puts their eyes in him and gave him minutes. I hope so as well, man. And yeah, and you are. I'm just guessing you are a Manchester United fan, or just have like Facundo Pelistri for different reasons. Just curious. But yeah, I hope as well that Pelistri can go to a good team and get minutes, because he's a talented player, and he's far from the finished article, as you expect him to be at 20 years of age. But he needs minutes to develop, for sure, and confidence at a club where he can really play to his strengths, which is obviously not Deportivo Alaves, like last season. So yeah. So we are going back. We are returning to football, to the second half in this Champions League action, which is great. So yeah, this little man, he's still here. Let's have a look. This little man is still here, but he sees the calmness. He's really calm. So yeah, let's have a look. Jorge says, it's interesting how some young footballers develop into their potential and some never do. Hopefully Pelistri develops it. Yes, I mean, that's really the case. And that's the thing about football as well, or about development of a player of any sport or of any profession, is that sometimes it's really hard to predict, because okay, you have some players who you lay your eyes on and you're sure this is going to be a big player. And there's also some players that you lay your eyes on and this is sure it's not going to be anything. And often, or maybe not, but you are right at times. But there's also some cases where you really think this one is going to be a star, and it's not going to turn out, and it's not turning out like this. And that is just really like the brilliant thing about football as well, but also the curious thing and the mysterious thing, because Pacase, for example, or Amaral. These are two really talented players. Probably two of the most talented players of this really golden generation of 2017 from the Uruguay under-20 team. And they didn't manage to get to the top, or at least there are still time on their side. But yeah, it's not going to happen for sure. I believe anyway. And you can cite different reasons as to why they are not at the same level as someone like Valverde or Bentancur, who obviously at this moment in time they were at the same level. Picasa, you can say he's not dedicated to the sport. He is ill-disciplined. Amaral, you can say his physical limitations in terms of his body weight and his this kind of thing is limited him. But then there are also cases like Jose Luis Rodriguez, who was also on this team, right back, and Matias Oliveira, the left back at that time, and Jose Luis Rodriguez. They were both really on the same level for me, and I probably liked Jose Luis Rodriguez more. I really did, because he was probably at the World Cup, on the 20 World Cup. He was probably our most consistent performer. And Oliveira was also really good, but Jose Luis Rodriguez was just guaranteed offensively really good, defensively rock solid. And I was thinking, well, this is going to be a really good player with a big future in Europe. And he's now playing at Nacional. He never got his move to Europe in the end, and he's 24 now. And I think I don't really understand this, because I think at this moment in time he was such a really promising young player who was he was probably better than Oliveira at that moment in time. But Oliveira is now playing for Uruguay and playing in the Champions League, and Jose Luis Rodriguez plays also at a good level. I mean, Nacional is one of the biggest teams, one of the two biggest teams in Uruguay. But he's not where he perhaps wished to be, or where perhaps I believed he could be. And that's the nature of football as well. And that's pretty awesome, but also pretty, well, yeah, enigmatic, I would say. I'm not sure if I pronounced this rightly, but it's like something mysterious about football. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look on Twitter. It's always nice to. No. We are not. We are kidding, right? I just reading that Jose Maria Jimenez is went out injured for Uruguay or for Atletico. Honestly, you are kidding. You are kidding. Come on. What the hell is this? Boss, come on. Come on, this is just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about this? 2 games back. I mean, not even 2 full games, and he's injured again. But the thing is, and Napoli are 4-1 up, which they're really killing it. They're really killing it. But come on, Josema. The thing is, I'm not really sure what to say about it, to be honest, because it's just he's 26, 27, I think he's now 27, and this is not going away, it seems. And is there a solution to it? I mean, in the way he looks after himself, or the way he can sort it out operationally? I don't know, but I mean, this is not normal. And for Atletico as well, for Atletico, there will be a point where they think we cannot rely on Josema to deliver and to be a regular for us in a season, because he plays 2/3 of the season maximum, and nothing more. And that's not. I mean, that's not good enough, because you want your star player. So yeah, he's a star player for Atletico, a star defender when he's fit. But you want it's a penalty for Liverpool, one for sure. Yeah, it's a penalty for Liverpool. Okay, but you want your star players to be reliable, and he's not. He's far from it. So, and for Uruguay, I mean, obviously, it could be that he's back in 3 weeks. But the thing is, if he keeps getting on and keeps getting back injured, where's yeah? I mean, you kind of it's kind of like this infinite loop where you're in, the Groundhog Day basically. So there's no point in getting your hopes up, because even if he's getting back for the World Cup, what I mean, how do we know that he's not injured for the quarterfinals, for example, or for the last 16? So it's getting to the point where you think, Jesus Christ, what's the point, man? He's gonna get injured anyway. But okay, let's just await the situation. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, Liverpool have a penalty now, and Salah obviously behind the ball. So yeah, let's have a look here. Mo Salah to make it 2-0 to Liverpool at Anfield. That should be right. And then hopefully the game opens up a little bit. Darwin gets more chances, more space, and he scores a goal. And it's a goal. Salah in the middle of the goal, really calmly. So yeah. Okay, Jorge says, the police situation reminds me of Amaral. I never would have guessed Canobia would have been a better footballer than Amaral when they played together for the under-20s in Uruguay. No, I don't. I'm with you on this one. But the thing is with Canobio, what he has is a lot of physical qualities in terms of his speed, his how do you say this in English again? Durability. I mean, that's stamina. That's the word I was looking for. His stamina. He's aggressive. He's a good presser of the ball, and he's decent to. He's not the most flashiest of footballers, but he can. He's a decent footballer. I would say that. So in terms of modern football, he's probably more suited to it. While Amaral, although he's not all of the things I mentioned about Canobio, he's a brilliant striker of the ball, and he's an inventive player. But Canobio, obviously, he has grown, he has developed, and Amaral, it's not really happened for him, which is a shame. But it's the way it is. Nice kitty, yeah. Hope thanks. See, it's a lovely kitty, obviously, really sweet kitten. Burn Roddy says, have you ever watched Captain Tsubasa? There's a Uruguayan player called the Black Panther of South America, Ramon Victorino. No, I've never watched this, but let's I'm gonna look it up right now because I want to see this. Because I do remember, I do. This name says something to me. I'm sure I've heard it before. Maybe I saw some pictures of it on Twitter. Because it's some like. No, let's have a look. Okay. No, I do remember someone, a follower of the Uruguayan Heroes Twitter account, mentioning this to me, but I never really looked into it. But yeah, I will check it out for sure. That's pretty cool, to be honest. So I will check it out for sure. CFC says, personally, I believe that God hates Jimenez. I do not understand how he injured every 3 games. Well, I don't know what it is as well. I mean, it's clear that physically he's not blessed. Well, I mean, he's good physical condition, obviously, but his injury record is just atrocious. Burn Roddy is, if Josema is injured, we can bring back Polenta or Bruno Mendes. Well, I think Bruno Mendes is a good option. But yeah, I mean, if Josema is not there, then Coates is obviously a starter. And who are you pairing him up with? I would prefer Agustin Rogel ahead of Codina at this moment in time. But I mean, let's just wait, okay? Maybe we are starting in Qatar and Josema and Rajo are both fit to play. That would be brilliant, But maybe it's a bit naive to think this. Burn Roddy, I think they're ready. They just don't get chances. Talking about the young Uruguayan players, I guess, yeah, for some that's certainly the case. That's why picking out a club, whether it's permanent or on loan, is so vital, because if you can play like first team football in a European league, or maybe in South America, whatever, like Facundo Torres does now and Cesar Arajo, if you could play regular football and keep developing, it's so much better than being a bench player at a bigger club, because although you might learn a lot and stuff like this, playing football regularly on first team football, there's no better thing for a player than this. We know this. That's I mean, you don't have to be you don't have to study, to come to this conclusion. I believe anyway. Um, Jorge says Josema's situation is sad, especially for him personally. Probably, yes, for sure it is. But you know what? I also don't know to what extent is muscular problems are mentally instead of physically, because when you are a player who gets injured a lot of times, um, you also get your mind, or your the men your mentally, you get adjusted to this, and you obviously get some fear for getting injured. For sure, that can happen. And with Josema, maybe his limits, or the physical limits that he believes are his own, or the physical limits he himself has recognized, are a bit too soft. Maybe this is also the case. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Um, I'm just thinking aloud here, and trying to get into this problem, which is not getting away, which is a shame, because Josema is a brilliant defender, one of the best in the world if he's fit, and we all know this. But he's 27, and he cannot keep going every season, playing 2/3 of the season at most. It's really at most. Sometimes it's less even, and not play for 2 weeks and then miss out 4 weeks, then play for 4 weeks, miss out 2 weeks. I mean, there's no season, and yeah, I mean, it's just really frustrating. But anyway, it's the case. It's what happens, and yeah, it's just a shame. Oh, Jota, almost 3-0 for Liverpool here. I'm just gonna look something up there. If there's another update on Josema. But the thing with Josema as well is that there's no indication that something is improving, in regard to his medical situation, in muscular problems, because this season it's probably been as bad as it's ever been, because we are underway for 2 months, 3 months, and I think he's already had this is his third injury. So I mean, I try to be positive because I want to be, but this is really, I mean, first Arajo and now Josema. I mean, next up is Fede. I really hope not, but yeah, it's just really annoying, to be honest, and really discouraging as well for us. When you look out to a World Cup, it would be nice for one day or for one time to have a build up to a World Cup, and not have a major player for Uruguay be injured. That would be nice for a change, to be honest. But it um, doesn't seem to be the case again. Or for sure it won't be, because Arajo will be well, if he's there, then it will be just about. So that will be tense either way. And with Josema, it seems like it's not gonna be rosy as well. So this looks like it's gonna be a tight one as well. But okay. Okay. Say CAFC 72 with a lot of comments today. By the way, thank you for the comments, and thank you for all of you. By the way, Jorge, Bernardi, and anyone who's commented, and anyone who's dropped in to watch the video. If you want to like the video, that would be brilliant. It would help me out a lot to have more visibility on YouTube, because I want to grow it to 1,000 subscribers, which will take a lot of time probably. But yeah, it's a goal anyway. So and your support is really helps me a lot by with achieving this goal, or hopefully achieving this goal. So CAFC 72 says Josema could be a crystal player, but he always recovered good of his injuries, and that's a great thing, especially thinking about the World Cup. Yeah, I mean, he has always come back. Yeah, that's the case. That is true. But for Uruguay will always count on him. I'm sure of this. But for a club like Atletico, who Okay, no, maybe Darwin, maybe. There's a bad option for Darwin. Okay, and then a fall now by Darwin. 60 minutes played, more than 60 minutes played, 2-0 to Liverpool. No goal from Darwin yet. Hopefully he keeps on the pitch for 90 minutes. Hopefully Klopp gives this opportunity to him, because yeah, I really want to see him score him goal, because it can help out a lot now. As I mentioned before, and probably some of you have as well, this period between now and the last international break and the World Cup is so vital for him to get the rhythm, get some confidence, and get settled in Liverpool, and arrive at the World Cup in a really good condition. That's just something we want to have, or I think every Uruguay fan wants to have this. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Darwin almost there with a chance, but it's Goldson who heads the ball away just before Darwin can apply his finishing. And hopefully it looked like it was a good chance for him after a good crush on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Nathan Delfescovo, I hope it's pronounced that way anyway, says, "Good morning from Australia, Dave." Hi there, man. Good morning to you. It's 10, or it's now, it's almost 10:30 p.m. at over here. But good morning, man. What's going on with Nico Lopez at Tigres? I know he's not played much recently, but I think he's useful for La Selección, as we are a bit limited to white on the left. Well, the thing is with Nico, and I think it's like the 2021 Clausura campaign. He scored a lot of goals. I think he was a top scorer of the tournament, of the campaign. And then the tournament afterwards, he hardly started games anymore. So from being the protagonist of Tigres in this one campaign, straight away the next campaign he was disregarded as a main starter. So that was really strange. But it didn't change anything for him, because he stayed on it at Tigres, and he still is not starting a lot of games, which is a shame, and it certainly has limited his opportunities for Uruguay, because you have to remember the first international break with Alonso in charge. Nico Lopez was in the squad. I was in the squad. I'm sure he was. Maybe I'm tripping now, but I'm sure he was in the squad for sure. So, but since then he's not played a lot, and not regularly anyway. So that is probably something which has limited him. And I don't think he will go to the World Cup. I'm pretty sure he will not. And on your comment that he would be useful for the team, because we are a bit limited on the wide left, and yeah, you might be right. You might be right that he could be an option. But at the moment, to be honest, with Dallas Guetta, who is destined to play this role on the left wing as a more of an inverted winger, I think we are okay. But yeah, I mean, Nico Lopez was always going to be an interesting option. But because he's not playing at all at the moment, it's not seems to be likely for him to go to the World Cup, which is a shame. But I just hope he moves away from Tigres and goes to a team where he can play, because he's a good player, and he's I think he's 29, 30. He should be playing week in, week out, and at this moment of time, and being the main man at the club, because he has all the qualities to be this. Bern Ruddy says, Ramon Victorino is based on Pennyroll champion Venancio Ramos and Waldemar Victorino, world champion with Nacional, whose nephew Mauricio Victorino played for Uruguay at the World Cup 2010. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, these fictional football strips or cartoons, whatever, I always, to be honest, like them. I remember from my youth watching some Galactic Football, it was called, I think. I really loved this. One of my favorite programs. And to be honest, I'm following a school of creative business, which is more basically focused on the media side of business, because I'm really interested in football and trying to cover on this. And I am also someone who tries to learn to write and maybe one day wants to write a fictional story of my own in like a book form. So yeah, I mean, these strips or these cartoons, whether it be written or or in a film or a series, I really liked it as well. I mean, a really different one, but I used to love Avatar. Really loved it. I mean, it was just great story, great storytelling. But okay, no, that's a nice thing. And like I said, I will certainly look for it, have a watch and see. Just check it out. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the recommendation. So Atletico 2-0 down, and it's Napoli 5-1 to Ajax. What is happening in Amsterdam then? That's a big surprise, to be honest. I mean, that's a real big surprise because Napoli. I mean, they have started the season really well, and we all know how they made fun of Liverpool basically in Naples. But yeah, that's crazy. 5-1 in Amsterdam. Okay. Okay. Jorge says, this is a random question, but would you like for Mourinho to be Uruguay's manager at some point? I think because of his personality and footballing mind, he could lead Uruguay to winning titles. I would absolutely love it. I mean, Mourinho would be a perfect fit for Uruguayan football culture because, he just is. I mean, he just is. I mean, I would love it anyway. Will it happen? Probably not, but I would be down for it for sure. Let's have a look at Barca here against Inter because I just saw that their goal is being scored, and it's Barcelona. So let's have a look here. Barca building up with Eric Garcia. Pedri switching the play to Sergio Roberto, who's still playing for Barcelona 2022. Who would have thought? Oh, and it is Pedri with the goal. It's 1-1 in Milan. Pedri pops up in the box after a cross from Dembele. Doesn't get cleared really well. I think it's Onana who doesn't clear it. And it's Pedri with the 1-1. But okay, let's switch back to Liverpool. It's more interesting. I'm not really bothered about this game, to be honest. So it's Henderson for Fabinho. Henderson coming off, Fabinho coming on. I don't hope Darwin is getting. I mean, I didn't see the change, so I will have to look. The dude's going out. Diego Jota's come out. Okay, so Darwin is still on, which is a good thing. Because we don't want to see our boy go out. I mean, Liverpool have absolutely dominated this game, by the way. Just looking now at some statistics and also having watched the game, or most parts of the game, obviously. Yeah. So it's just time for Darwin to get his goal on the score sheet, and then the night would be much better. I wouldn't say perfect, but it will be much better anyway. But yeah. Okay. Bern Ruddy says Ajax must have broken down mentally. Yeah, it seems like this for sure. 5-1. That's just crazy. I mean, yeah, but it's a good thing because Matias Oliveira with 9 points, with Napoli having 9 points out of the first 3 games, it's likely to go to the next round. And Oliveira has got an assist in this game, so it's a positive night for him for sure. Farid Haji says, I haven't had the access to watching the Liverpool match. That's a shame, man. Okay, that's a shame. Well, I mean, I don't share these streams on Twitter because I can get suspended for it. But there are really many streams online where you can watch the games, all the games, Uruguay games, international games, and let's have a look. I will put it on a banner here. Oh no, wait, this is not a good one. So it's live TV, and this is the one. Let's have a look. This is so if you want to have constant live streams for football like anywhere in the world, this is the one. Live TV SX.n. This is the one, and really, it's this for games like this. There's multiple live streams which you can check out, and yeah, basically every day or every game you would like to watch, whether it's be South American games or it will be European games, international games, for example in Asia. All of these games are covered on this website, and sometimes you have to click through a few live streams to get to the right one. And yes, you do have commercials or at pop-ups commercials, but it's not that bad. I mean, I have this, and I have no problem with my laptop in terms of viruses. So this is really the one you want. And like I said, I don't share this on um, on Twitter because people have been suspended for this. So sometimes when people comment to me on Twitter for live stream, mostly I just reply in their direct messages and then tell this, because then it's kind of illegal. But if you tweet it, you can get reported for it, and you can get suspended. So, and as some of you would know, I've had my fair share of suspensions throughout the years. So I'm not really willing to go down this road again. So this is why I stopped basically every videos I posted. And well, I'm not gonna risk it for a live stream. So no, Farid says now don't get suspended on YouTube. You're right. So I'm gonna hide the banner now. So yeah, no, this, and the thing is now I'm doing live streams, but I do really intend to try to make more videos also with Premiere Pro, to maybe make some videos about some players using some images and not high quality stuff, because I'm just learning, but that's hopefully something I can do. But yeah, like you said, the copyright thing on Twitter is big, but on YouTube it's even worse. So yeah. So now Darwin. Oh, that's a good assist, but not a goal. It's a really good pass from Darwin, but Diaz cannot get it on goal. That's a shame. But okay, was offside anyway for Darwin now, it seems. Okay. That's a shame. Would have been nice to see him and have an assist anyway. So Nathan Delfescovo says, "Do you think Fabricio Diaz moves to Europe soon? I would like to see him move to Portugal and have a similar pathway to Ugarte." Well, that's something I would agree with immediately. The second point you make, and the question: do you think Fabricio Diaz moves to Europe soon? I would believe so. Yes, I think he's the Uruguay under-20 captain. He has already 3 years of experience playing in the Uruguayan league while being just 20 years of age. So yeah, he will be on a lot of radars of big clubs, or big clubs maybe not, but of clubs in Europe for sure. Um, he's already had a call up to the Uruguay national team. It was like in the midst of an international break when someone else dropped out. He came in, so it wasn't like a proper call up, but he was there anyway. And he's also connected. He is in a good agency, the GBG football group, which handles players like Matias Oliveira, like Franco Israel, like Juanma Boselli, and many more as well. And they are good connected in Europe. So yeah, Fabricio Diaz will sure be soon in Europe. I'm sure about this. And move to Portugal, to a team like, for example, Famalicão, but maybe even a bigger team, or maybe like a top team in the Segunda in Spain. All of these things, yeah, that would be nice. If he can land a good move, which enables him to keep developing, keep playing a lot, because that's the thing with Ugarte. I mean, he went to Famalicão, and it was a good move, but it was certainly a good move because he got the start and he got the confidence straight away to start games. And then he showed his quality. Sporting, well, they saw this, they recognized his talent, and yeah, it's been a really quick success story for him. So hopefully he can follow the same path. That would be nice. Okay, CAFC says, have you seen the rumors that puts Ugarte on PSG? Obviously, will be a big step on his career. Yes, I saw them, and they are pretty well sourced, I would say. So it's not like these throwaway rumors which sometimes do the rounds. And I think it's yeah, we will see what happens. I mean, I believe he should stay with Sporting at least this season and possibly another season as well, because he's at the good club, one of the biggest in Portugal, playing Champions League football. So there's no reason for him to rush anything, But it's a testament to his quality that Ugarte is receiving the interest of a club like Paris Saint-Germain. So let's see. It will be a big step for his career, like you say, and maybe too early, for sure, too early. But in the medium term, yeah, let's see. We never know. Jorge says, I think Paris Saint-Germain is a cursed club that will never win the Champions League, but I probably will be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying because obviously, like Manchester City, everybody looks at them as to Champions League being the big measuring stick, and anything else than this doesn't matter basically because they are these oil clubs with so many money, and every time they don't win the Champions League, it's a failure. And I get this to a certain extent, but it's also not easy, obviously, to win a Champions League. We all know this. But I think I'm interested to see how Paris will do in the latter stages of this Champions League, because they are in a better shape, I would say, than last season. Looking at the first few months, so it will be interesting to see. They're more balanced, Paris, with their acquisitions in midfield for sure, and also with the defense being more solid from what I can see anyway, and also the Messi, Neymar, really living up now again. Not only with the goals and assists, but with um, the football they play. CFC says the comments are bugged or something. Yeah, I saw your comment came up twice, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. But no worries, man, no worries. Appreciate the comments anyway. Farid Haji says we need to embrace and accept that it's very unlikely that we see any major changes to who gets the nod on the World Cup list. The nod on the World Cup list. No, you sure mean the nod. No, we will not see we will not see any major changes, and neither do we need them, to be honest. But yeah, there are things that subtle things that certainly could be done better, like Vecino not getting so much playing time, like Godin for sure not starting, like Caceres maybe not being on the World Cup squad, which probably will not happen. But yeah, overall it's looking good, but there are some decisions which there are always some decisions which you can question. But if you have 26 names and you cannot discuss the fact that one or another is there, and another one should be there instead of them, then it's a bit boring as well. But while I'm speaking now, Darwin goes off after 80 minutes, no goal on his Premier League full debut, and he gets an ovation, and he's been full of energy, some decent shots, but no goal, which is a shame, obviously. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame to see him go off, but it's obviously he's played 80 minutes. Liverpool are leading 2-0. Hopefully, this means he starts on the weekend as well, but we don't know about this, obviously. But yeah, okay, it's the way it is. House of Scare says Hosema injured again. It really hurts at this point, man. Yeah, I mean, it hurts, but it doesn't. It's no surprise anyway. That's the thing. There's no shock or something. And that's even worse, to be honest. House of Scare says Darwin should have kicked the penalty. Yeah, we would have liked to see him kick it for sure, but I get Salah as the main penalty taker, and that's the way it goes. And you also said if he had scored, his confidence would have gone up. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, it's the way it is. Hopefully, he can get a goal on the weekend. That would be nice. Farid says, well, we need to embrace and accept Vecino starting. He has size and he knows the system that Alonso wants to play, and he has experience. Yeah, I mean, if it happens, if he starts, yeah, you have to accept it because it's happening. But you don't have to agree with it. I wouldn't agree with it, to be honest. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to these kind of decisions. But if it happens, it happens. And I mean, you cannot go watch the game and like this, not seeing Vecino, not wanting to see him. He's there. You have to see how he does. But yeah, we will see. We will see. I do think that Ugarte with Bentancur and Valverde ahead of him or Torreira, but one of these, Ugarte or Torreira, ahead of um, um, sorry, in front of the defense, and Valverde and Betancourt ahead of them is the best option. But yeah, it's like we can talk a lot. We can talk hours about what we should, how we should line up, how we shouldn't line up, who should be in, who shouldn't be in. But at the end of the day, it's all down to Alonso, and I do trust him. So whether I agree or do not agree with the decisions, I still trust him. It's not like with Tavares when you just lost all confidence. With Alonso, the confidence is very high still, even if they're losing to Iran, because that's the thing. A result or a moment is like it's a temporary thing, but so you should not change your whole opinion on one moment or on one result. And Alonso has a lot of credit in the bank, and yeah, I have full confidence in Alonso and the team to do well in Qatar. CFC says no goal, but a good match from Darwin. Seems that he's finding his place in Liverpool. Um, yeah, I mean he was busy trying to find space, having a few shots, working hard. Not the most lucky or most fortunate of games, but he's getting around there, and getting 80 minutes in for Liverpool today is a good thing for sure. And hopefully this is the start of Darwin getting a run of games, and the confidence from the club. Because I mean, when he came, Klopp said, "Well, he might cost 100 million, but he's a young lad and he still has to learn a lot, and we give no pressure on him." But there is pressure on him. Obviously, there is. I mean, he costs 100 million, which is a lot, and it's maybe more than he's worth. But it's the current market, so yeah. I mean, it would be good to see him get some chances and a continued run of games to find his feet and score some goals. Because we all know how strikers rely on scoring goals to make them feel good and get something going. Farid says, "I don't agree with him starting, but it's very likely that he'll start." Yeah, that's obviously absolutely true. Absolutely true. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, I cannot disagree with the fact that you disagree, but still say that's likely. So let's put it like this: you're absolutely right, and if that's gonna be the case, it's the case. It's the way it is, and yeah. House of Scare says Ugarte, Bentancur, Valverde in midfield, with Torreira being the first off the bench, in my opinion. Well, for me, at the moment, Ugarte or Torreira and Bentancur Valverde is also the way to go. But also, it is dependent on the opponent. So there will be certain occasions when you might have different options. For example, like Ugarte Valverde or Ugarte Bentancur and De La Cruz and Valverde on the right. So there are many options that you can consider. Yeah. Farid says, "What's the status on Coates?" So he didn't play for Sporting. Almost Rangers with the 2-1, but it's a really good defender. Vatsimikas, the Greece defender who plays in the national team, which is led by our very own Gustavo Poyet. But yeah, almost a goal for Rangers. Okay, and Coates. So Sporting played today. They lost 4-1 to Marseille. Got a red card after 30 minutes. And Coates didn't play because he was still recovering from injury. But it seems almost Rangers again. It seems very much that Coates is almost back from injury, so there's no worries about him, to be honest, which is good because we already have enough worries with Arajo and now Josema. So Coates being out for a long time as well would be really problematic. Yeah. Jorge says, "I'm sorry. You always get frustrated when Facchino starts." Yeah, that's true. That's yeah. Same with Cáceres, to be honest. I just don't think he's good enough to be to represent Uruguay national team. But yeah, that's my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. It's the way it is. Um, House of Scare says Darwin clearly fits well at Liverpool. His movement, his positioning, it alleviates so much pressure. With some goals, his gravity will increase, and Liverpool will be better off for it. Yeah, you put it really nicely, and I think Darwin is someone who fits in the club system. Um, but he obviously needs to find his place again, and also with the teammates around him need to get used to the new dynamics. Because with Mane, he's also an explosive player, a strong player, but he's a different player. He's not like he could play as a striker, Mane, and he has played, but he's still different. Mane is power and pace, but Mane is also really this is really refined also in his game. It's really a technical player as well, and Darwin is even more pace and power and more force, and yeah. So Darwin needs to get used to Liverpool, and Liverpool needs to get used to Darwin, the team, the new dynamics without Mane and with Darwin. So that takes time, but it's good to see him get the start today and hopefully also on the weekend, because that's the only way they're gonna get used to it. Because yeah, that's just the way it is. I believe anyway. So, who do you think is the best Uruguayan manager in the world? Says Jorge Cepero. Um, I think Guillermo Almada is my. Is he the best? He's my favorite manager. That's what it is anyway. And also he took over Pachuca in Mexico, and Pachuca they finished like 15th in the regular season in the Clausura tournament. Um, and Almada took over. I think he just bought one player, or maybe a few loans, but his net spend was minus something. And he took over. He made them champions of the regular season, and they lost in the final of the playoffs, which is a shame. Second campaign, so the campaign had just finished last weekend. They finished third, so they go after the playoffs again. So the work he's done is really brilliant. And also we have to also realize that he has them playing good, attractive football. And what he's also continually done throughout his career as a manager, is he keeps promoting young players, youth players from the own academy. So he's just a really good manager, and I like him a lot. And I think he was my number one option for the Uruguay national team. Diego Alonso became the national team manager, and I'm absolutely fine with it, to be honest. So no worries about that. But Almada is a manager who I would absolutely love to see him get a chance in Europe, whether it be in the Segunda, whether it be in the Serie B, or maybe even somewhere higher. I don't know, but somewhere, because he just deserves it. He's a really good manager. He's proven it in Uruguay, in Ecuador, and in Mexico now. And for me, he's a manager that surely can get to Europe and have a good club and guide a project with young players with an exciting style of play. So for me, it's Guillermo Almada. But honorable mentions would be Paulo Pezzolano, who was promoted with Cruzeiro to the Brasileiro, getting back the fallen giants of Brazilian football to the big stage, which is brilliant. I mean, they became champions like 8 games before the end of the season. Another one, Diego Alonso, obviously, the job he's doing with Uruguay, you have to mention him. So yeah, these three I would name. And Gus Poyet, I mean, he started well in his Greece job in his the Greece national team. He started well, so he's promoted from, I think in the Nations League he promoted from Group C to Group B. So it's a good start. So let's highlight him as well, because it's been a lot of tough spells for him in management recently. So it's good to highlight him as well. Okay. El grandissimo Diego Idolo del Pep Aguirre. I was so scared. Yeah, Diego Aguirre. The funny thing about him is he took over from Cruz Azul and did a really good job, and then it went tits up. So yeah, I mean, he's a good manager, but no, he's not the one on top, honestly. But I think you're joking as well. Yeah, Jorge Cepero seems to agree as well. Farid Haji says best Uruguayan manager in the world is easy, and every one of the is each and every one of the national team fans. So yeah, that's a good way to put it as well. To be honest, that's probably the best way to put it, because we probably do as much tracking as any manager of all the Uruguayans around the world. So yeah, that's really a good way to put it. Jorge says it makes me mad and sad. Uruguay hasn't beaten Brazil since 2011 and Argentina since 2013. It is not a a nice statistic. I do agree with you. Yeah, but I believe change will come soon. With this manager, with this team, we are looking better than ever. So yeah, but that's a bad statistic for sure. Certainly the Brazil one. I mean, Jesus, 21 years. That's a lot of time. So yeah, but that's a bad. That's not good for sure. It isn't. And Napoli 6-1. Oh my days. That's really embarrassing for Ajax in their own backyard. House of Scare says Almada should be the next Uruguay manager once Alonso retires on top of the world after 3 straight World Cup trophies and 4 Copa Americas. Well, Almada would be well. Let's hope he can. Almada would probably not take a job then because he can only fail from that point. But yeah, maybe one day Almada is the national team manager. But for me, Almada has to focus now on maybe getting a job in Europe because I'm sure he can do a good job there. Jorge says, I've heard rumors Guillermo Almada will become Mexico's manager after Tata. In my opinion, that's a bad job to take because of all the criticism that comes with it. Yeah, I read this as well, I think yesterday. And I mean, he's been linked before to the Ecuador job because he managed in Ecuador and he did a really good job. And he also managed in or also been linked to Mexico national team job before. So yeah, it's popped up a few times, and maybe it's a possibility. But the point you make is also a good one. Mexico manager job, probably one that is one of the most difficult jobs in national team football because of the high expectations and because of the restless nature of the footballing nation that is Mexico. So yeah, maybe it's a bad one to take, and I believe he would be better off to get a job in Europe if he can. That I would love that anyway. So yeah, House of Scare, God please no, that is a job. That job is poisoned. Yeah, poisoned. Yeah, I believe so as well. Yeah, yeah. Well, Farid Hachi says Almada will be the next manager of River Plate. I mean, Masario Gallardo, he will not be there all of his career. I don't believe this. So who knows? And by the way, Tottenham have drawn away to Eintracht Frankfurt 0-0, 0-0. So yeah, that's not a bad result, but it's not the best it's not the one you wish either. So let's have a look at the standings in Group A. In Group, what's it? Let's have a look. Group D. Sporting lead the way with 6 points after 3 games. Tottenham with 4, Frankfurt with 4, and Marseille with 3. So that group is wide open. Yeah, Bayern is Group C. Bayern on 9, Inter on 6, and Barca on 3. So Inter have taken the lead again. I mean, oh sorry, the goal from Pedri was ruled out, so I didn't follow that. But okay, I will go through the groups in a bit after I go through these comments. I will go through the groups, the results, and then I will finish it off the stream. It's been nice, but it's also been 2 hours and 50 minutes and getting a bit tired. But anyway, I really love it, all the comments, and I really enjoy the company of you as always. But Almada to River Plate, who knows? I mean, would be a brilliant next step, that's for sure. But I do see it as a little bit unlikely. But hey, I would love it. I would love it. Yeah. So yeah. If we play our cards right, if we play our cards perfectly right, we could beat Brazil in the coming World Cup. Obviously, I hope it doesn't come back to that. It doesn't come to that. But if we do have to face Brazil, we could exploit their fullback weakness. Yeah, I mean, the Brazil game will always be difficult. We know that, but yeah, Uruguay always stand a chance against Brazil. Although, like the statistic suggests that we haven't beaten them for 21 years, it will not be easy. But okay. It will be super tough though. The match would have to be played perfectly, and even then, it probably goes to pens. Yes, I agree because Brazil is probably in one of their best moments. Well, best moments maybe it's too exaggerated, but Brazil 5 years ago was less than they are now. So Brazil is in the last 2 or 3 years are the good moment on their Tite. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Anyway, I'm gonna go through the results now. If they've all finished, they've not. But well, Ajax Napoli is 6-1 to Napoli, which is really a big result. Matheus Oliveira playing all game, and yeah, that's brilliant to see. He got an assist for Napoli's first goal, And Napoli now lead the group with 9 points, 13 goals scored in 3 games, which is really brilliant. Liverpool second with 6, Ajax third with 3 points, and Rangers pointless in the 4th place. Then in Group B, it's Club Brugge with 9 points after 3 games. Who would have thought that? Leverkusen with also 3 points, just like Porto, who have just beaten Leverkusen. And Atletico also with 3 points. So 3 teams on 3 points, and Club Brugge with 9, who seem to run away with the group, which is not what I expected. Maybe you did, guys, but I really didn't. Then we have Group B, or C, I mean. Bayern on 9 points, Inter on 6, Barca on 3, and Victoria Pilsen on 0. So yeah, also a really interesting development in this group with Inter beating Barcelona, or at least they are still playing, and the additional time is still going. So it's not done yet, and I'm gonna switch to them now, so we can watch these final moments. But okay. And then the final group, yeah, I mentioned them with Tottenham. So yeah, I was scared. Almada, Penarol, Carajo. Well, I mean, it would be a good move for Penarol for sure, but I think his ambition should lie in Europe. But that's also what I hope, because I would love to see a Uruguay manager in Europe doing well, because it's been a while now. And Puyetta is at his moments. I know there is a manager was in France. I think it was for Nancy, who did really well a few years back, or maybe 10, 15 years back. But I forgot his name. But Uruguay manager doing well in Europe, it's not often. But at the moment, we have a really exciting generation coming up, and also some managers like Almada, who's been in management for like 10, 15 years. And these managers really do have the capabilities, in my opinion, to have a career in Europe as a manager. So yeah, let's see. Will be exciting. Hopefully one day the worm will turn. You know what? This Jorge with another comment. And thanks, by the way, Jorge. The expression you use now, it reminds me, because maybe you know him, maybe not. You probably know Ricky Gervais, and Ricky Gervais had like a Ricky Gervais show on radio, and it was with Carl Pilkington and Stephen Merchant. And Carl Pilkington was like this like this unknown radio presenter, or who really was like just a normal lad living in Manchester, and they came across him to work there, and they just discovered how funny he was, and he became famous in England. And maybe you know this guy, but maybe not. But he became famous in England, and he just this funny guy who just a normal bloke, and he said, after hearing the word or the expression, the worm will turn, he said, like, I find this really such a strange expression, because how do you know how a worm is turned? Because how do you know? Because each end looks the same. But I mean, that expression reminded me of Carl Pilkington, who really is a comedic genius who doesn't know it himself, which is probably even more funny. So yeah, Uruguay will finally beat Brazil. All of us who were born in 2000 have no memory of Uruguay beating Brazil. Yeah, I mean, it will happen one day for sure, and sooner rather than later. I do believe in this. And yeah, I mean, it will happen for sure. Hopefully soon. Hopefully in the World Cup, if this occasion arises. But yeah, let's see. But this win for Inter, if they keep on, it will be like a really big win. Certainly in this bad start to the domestic season. Bad. I mean, they are still like 7th, 6th, but for their standards, it's bad, obviously, because they are challenging for the title in the last few years and winning it 2 years ago. So yeah, let's have a look. You can see it. Oh, worked away, and it seems like it's over now. Yes, it's over. Inter winning. That's a big result, and certainly in this group, because with this group is with Bayern, you would say they are bang on to advance to the knockout stages, and then you have Barcelona and Inter, and Barca really highly thought of before the season with the signings they make, and in La Liga they've done well, and they are leaders on goal difference think winning all but one game, which they drawn. Okay, but now, yeah, they lose, and it's a big loss in terms of the magnitude, because Inter now have the upper end. They will travel to Barcelona in, I think it's next week or in 2 weeks. But yeah, that's a big result for Barca for sure. Okay, so yeah, okay, let's go. I will go to this final. Let's have a look. CFC says this final comment, and then I will wrap it up because it's already 11 p.m. here, and yeah, but and also more than 2 hours of me means not. It should be too long as well for you guys, because more than 2 hours of me just rambling about football. It's a lot. So, but CFC says here, we will win one day or another. Also, we've been close in 2016. That's true. I mean, Suarez had the winner on his foot. I remember this on Russia 2018 qualifiers, if I remember well. 2-1, 2-2 in Pernambuco when Fuchile became the best defender in history against Neymar. I mean, yeah, that game was really strange. But yeah, Uruguay were close to winning this day. But another day will come. They will come soon when Uruguay do beat Brazil. I'm absolutely sure of this. But until then, we will have to wait for a little bit. Anyway, I want to thank you for being here, for supporting the channel, and for giving me company in these last 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it's been nice. No goal from Darwin, which is a shame. An assist from Oliveira as Napoli wins 6-1, which is really big. Josema, unfortunately, is gone out injured for Atletico, which is a big shame. We will see what are the repercussions of this. And finally, Bentancur playing for Tottenham as they draw a goal, achieving is maybe not a good word, but they have a goalless draw away in Germany against Eintracht Frankfurt. So in the balance, it's, well, I mean, you cannot say it's a good night because Josema is out injured. That's not the worst night either, because Darwin gets some minutes under his belt and Oliveira gets an assist in a big win for Napoli. So tomorrow will be another day of Champions League football. I will not be live then, as I have to work, but I certainly hope Valverde will do well as the Real Madrid play. Let's have a look against who they play. I will check out really quickly. Let's have a look. Shakhtar Donetsk, okay. And Valverde, who started on the bench on the weekend, as Madrid, they drew their first game of the season because they won all the other games. So the first loss of points of the season, Valverde was benched, but now it's expected that he's in the starting 11. So yeah, was a nice evening anyway with all of you joining in, and I appreciate it once again. Hopefully you will be back on the channel soon, and in the meanwhile, I will always be on Twitter trying to provide daily updates and keeping in contact with you, talking about the most beautiful national team in the world of football. Okay, I hope you have a good night or good day, depending on where you live. For example, Nathan from Australia, have a good day to you. And if you are like me, going to bed soon, have a good evening, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.